Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back. And today we have the range tier list. And now this has been a long time coming, but I was waiting for the two masteries for the Kriegsrat Fusiliers and the Imperial Artibutus to come out before I did this list. So now they're out and we've done a video on both of them. I feel more comfortable doing a tier list. Now, again, this is my list. There'll be things you disagree with. This is just my opinion. So, yeah, take it with a pinch of salt. This is just from my experiences and what I think. So, your list might be different. But let's get into putting them in the right places. Okay, so here they are. I don't think I've got all the grey archers in here. I'm not 100% sure. I'm probably missing them, but grey archers. I am missing one that should be here somewhere. That is, it's like the Western version of these guys. I can't even remember what these guys are called. They're so irrelevant. But the only use for a grey archer is dress it up nicely, put it in some good unit attire, and then use it to bait trebs. That is the best value you're going to get out of it. So I don't even know the name of these ones, but we're going to put them there in D, because you will get basically zero value out of a grey archer, a grey range unit. Just treb bait. Put it somewhere, make it look nice, and then hopefully people will just continuously treb it, and you can waste 2 or 3 trebs if you're lucky. And that is good value. Next up, we have, I think this is the Archer Militia. Again, with like green Archer units, the names for me are going to be, like, I might struggle with the names just because it's been so long since I've used any of them. But these are, I think this is the Archer Militia. I'm not 100%, or a Scout Archer, something like that. But anyway, these guys I know have like traits that make their arrows go into like fire in their Vexancy line. As green archers go, they're probably one of the better green archers. They just don't have much range. So I think even then we're going to pop all of the green archers down here. We got the domain archers. These guys have an old vet line that's like, they do more damage when they're on the wall and stuff. Yeah, when they're on the wall, they're just, again, treb bait. Sorry, got a lovely little coffee on the go. So, again, we're going to pop those in D. You realistically don't really want to be using any grey or green archers unless it's for a treb bait. The Demise crossbows. I'm going to put these in C. The only reason I'm putting them in C is because they can be used with the Chevaliers. I know you probably should be using the Arbalists, the blue ones nowadays, but back in the day, you would use the green, and their rate of fire is pretty good. And I did use them with the Chevaliers, and they're still not bad. Their rate of fire, they just dump their ammunition too quickly. The rate of fire is still insane, but it is not. You would want to be using these bad boys here. And then we got the Iron Scout, the Iron Cap Artibutus. These guys I'm going to put in B. Value-wise, they can actually be pretty good. I did a video on these a while ago, and they're really, you basically just kind of use them like the new Matchlock. The matchlocks that actually I can see I don't have here, that I will go and grab in a second, and I'll put it in here. I have forgotten to get the picture for that, but it's fine because with the power of editing, it will suddenly appear. But yeah, so we made a video on these guys, and you basically walk forward, aim, shoot, they go all at once, and then you do it again, moving forward, and you just keep advancing with them. There's like 28 of them. With the right doctrines, they can do some decent damage for a green unit, but it's still a green unit going in B. As it goes, probably, one of the better value out of the greens. Moving on, the Arbalists. Now, these guys I'm going to do in B as well. On their own, not really worth it. But obviously with the Chevaliers, very nice, going in B. Still wouldn't recommend using them over other things in this list. And again, this list is on kind of the value that they've got leadership-wise. Like, otherwise, I've seen a few comments when I do my lists, and they wonder why I put things up there. I'm just saying in terms of their value in like green, blue, that sort of thing. Otherwise, I would just put everything down in D and then just put all the metas in S. And then we wouldn't really have much of a list. So just, bear with that. Then we have the Vanguard Archers. These are going down in D. An archer that runs towards its target. Always seems like a great idea. Never actually played them. Never leveled them up. Have seen one person play them, and he ran them into my unit because they were moving and shooting. So if they were to do something like move backwards and shoot, like they could walk backwards and like maybe do a volley shot, then step backwards, volley shot, step backwards, volley shot, and just keep doing that, maybe they would have some sort of value, but no. The Prefecture Archers, we're going to put those in A. They're very nice, really quite, they got a good rate of fire, especially, when the blue lock at the start of new seasons come out. They're very good. They can do a lot of damage, keep a lot of pressure on. The Domain Artabutus, I'm going to put these boys down here in C. Obviously, we've got the green ones up there, but that's because for a green unit, the value is higher, I think, than these guys. I think for the same sort of leadership price, you can take like Janissaries or something like that. It just doesn't seem worth it. So yeah, C. They're a bit meh. The Rattan Vipers. Now these are pretty good actually, if used properly. Not really going to pick up a lot of kills with these. It's going to be more that you're helping your team, because they basically lower the damage of everything they hit. Their poison has a damage reduction, so if you get hit by it, your unit's not going to do any damage, or it's going to do much less damage. So they do have value. You just don't see them that often because archers, and I wouldn't want to encourage a lot of people to be running range, because as soon as more than 2 or 3 people take range, it can affect your team. If you're on a push and one person's playing these and they've got them in a good place and they're actually nailing the other team, then yeah, they can be good. So we're going to pop those in B. I would probably put them in A, but I just haven't seen them enough at the moment for a long time. A lot of shields about, so you need something with a bit more of a punch. But yeah. Moving on, we have the Healing Archers. Get hit by a arrow and get some lovely heals. These boys, I actually think are great. I really think they're good. If you play them properly, it's so good for your team. It's such good, and I like a good team playing unit. So I'm going to put this at the top of A tier. I'm not going to quite put it in S tier, but it's definitely a good one. I wouldn't even call it an archer because you're going to do 0 damage. It's more of just a support. You're going to use it to heal. But very good. They are really, really good. And fun to play. If you want a different play style and you want to just help your team for a bit, not get all the kills, but just make sure you're going to get that win. If you play this properly, that will be a very big possibility. Then we have Fire Archers. The problem with Fire Archers is they are really good and they're amazing in blue tier lock, in the blue lock at the start of a new season, but then they drop off massively. So I kind of want to put them in A. I'd put them in A or even S when the blue lock is on, but I'm going to probably put them in B, just because, as soon as a unit gets past that, as soon as we get to tier 4, tier 5s that can't be set on fire, they drop off massively, I feel. So we're going to put them in there, where I think Prefecture Archers have a lot of they're a lot more pressure because the sheer amount of arrows they put out, and they've got higher penetration. So yeah, and then the healing archers have obviously the heal, so I think that helps a lot. And then we have got the Rattan Marksman going S tier. Rattan Marksman will be S tier until they get any sort of nerf. Their bleed is, or their poison is insane. Like, that thing can tick for, like, if you've got the Doctrine that increases, it gives them 2 extra stacks of poison. That thing can tick for, like, almost 3,000 per tick, and it does not take long to fully stack someone. I've been killed so many times by just taking 5 or 6 bleeds on me and be like, right, and I stand there watching myself die. It's not great, but it's fun to play. The Namcams going to put it in C. Namcams have fallen off so much. They just, you do not see them anymore. They used to be like a staple because their bleed was so good. I don't know when they got nerfed or whatever, but you just don't see them anymore. If they are out, they're going to get killed in 2 seconds because people still have PTSD when they were good, and they will dive on them. Moving on, we have the Janissaries. The Janissaries we are going to pop in A tier. They are probably the best value blue guns you can get. So, yeah. I can't think. Yeah, A tier. Yeah, I'm going to put them A tier. They are really nice. The only thing is they got to be static, but if you set them up properly and you got a good team in front of them, they're gonna do a lot of damage. And then we have the Zycalian Militia. Zycalian is a tricky one because if you play it badly, it's down here. If you play it well, it can completely change the game. So it's going to go in S tier. I'm going to assume that the people on this list are playing it well. So Zycalian, top. You know, you've seen it when you're in a battle, you're making good progress. Somebody brings a shield unit, and then behind that shield unit, Zycalian, and it totally annihilates, and your push just completely comes to a halt. So yeah, I think the value from those is damn good. Moving on, we got Imperial Archers. We are going to put those. You really don't see, again, I'm going to put, it's tricky because I know how much damage Imperial Archers can do, but there is the other side that yeah, I'm going to put them B. I just think they can be tricky, and I think they get jumped quite a lot. They can insta-kill heroes, but their slow rate of fire and their shots are like they're almost like a thicker arrow, so they stand out a lot. You know when someone's got them, and that's a lot of value you can take from that. This is one where people will probably disagree with me on it, but I'm going to put them in B. I don't think they're bad by any means, and none of these you can. I mean, some of them maybe C I wouldn't bother using, but everything B and above use because they're all usable. In fact, I'm not even going to go and grab the matchlocks because the matchlocks are not even going to go that high. The matchlocks Aragaru, or whatever they're called, I would put those in C. They would go here. They're just slow rate of fire. You kind of use them similar to these bad boys, but they're obviously a bit more expensive than those. They can be good. You play them properly. Actually, no, in fact, I'll put them in B. I'll put them with their kind of similar brethren there. The matchlock Aragaru, I don't have a picture for them, but I actually can't be bothered to go all the way back and grab a picture and then, yeah, do that. So, and they're not. It's not like if they were going to be in an S tier, I would have gone and got a picture. But I'll make sure the next time we're in the next season, I'll have a picture for them in here. But for now, yeah, they'd be B. They would be here. Just so you know, matchlock Aragaru, whatever, are in B. They're here in B. So yeah, moving on, we have the Fusiliers. This is going to be a tricky one because I've just done a video on each of these bad boys right here, and I want to do it justice. But I will say these are S tier. They're S tier. They are really good, really easy to use, do decent damage. And yeah, now they regain. It's only if they're fully mastered, mind. If they're not fully mastered, then they're not up at S tier. Fully mastered, yes, they're S tier. They run out of ammunition too quickly if they're not mastered. Moving on, we have the Imperials. Now, this will be a controversial one because it really depends on how you play. But personally, I think these the Kreisrats Fusiliers are better than the Imperial Arquebusiers. But the Imperial Arquebusiers, played in the right hands with a team, I think can outstage the Fusiliers, but much harder to play and less forgiving. These guys are much more forgiving. These guys, if you play it right, then you'll get a lot of kills. So I'm going to put those in S tier as well, but they're going to be behind the Fusiliers. Fusiliers are better. These guys in second place. And now this brings me on to another controversial one. These lists are always bloody controversial. But longbows. Now we all seen that player that sits at the back with longbows while the other team all have shields out. Completely pointless. But if you are that 0.1% of longbow players that play it properly and go have a look at the map, have a look at the teams, and you see the other team, and nowadays, because of these masteries here, you look and you go, 5 of the other team have range out, have muskets. Now these bad boys have a trait and effectively that increases their damage to range units by like 40%. It's huge. You can basically wipe a whole stack of Imperial Arquebusiers out in like 1 or 2 volleys. It's really quite good. And that's in a range where they can't touch you. So, if you're the right player, that 0.1% that looks at this man goes, right, now it's time to bring my longbows out, brings them out, gets in a good position, kills a lot of their range, and then goes and puts their longbows away, grabs something else back out, that makes these guys S tier. Because they can counter everything on this list without anything being able to touch it. But the issue is, and the reason why people don't like to see this in S tier, is because they're afraid that too many people are going to play them and then just sit there shooting at shields with their longbows, doing nothing for the team. And I would agree with you. If that's the case, they're down here. But if they use them properly as an anti-archer, they are completely anti-everything on this list. They are incredibly good. But just make sure when you use them, you have a look and see what the other team has out first before you bring them out. When you see they've got loads of range out, bring them out, kill the range, put them away. Anyway, Tercios. This is going to make it hard, Tercios, because of the Fusiliers. Tercios, I would be happy putting them in S because they're insta kill. But I think the Imperial Arquebusiers and the Fusiliers hit harder. But then you don't have the one-shot capability just to instantly press a button and kill whoever's charging them. But I'm going to put them in S because they're not actually that much more leadership. These guys are like 245, these are 290, and they basically will do about the same damage, except these guys have a lot higher defense and that one-shot capability. But I think still value-wise, leadership value-wise, I still think the Fusiliers are better. It would be hard to say if the Imperials are better, but I'll probably put them like this, actually. But yes, they're still going to put them there because I still think they hold a lot of value as a range unit. As a much range unit can hold a value. But moving on, we have the Pervis. Pervis are coming back. They're coming back. I see a lot more of them. I see people actually trying to make them work, and I think they're still underpowered. So I'm going to put them in B. But I think they're definitely much more usable than they have been in my past few lists. I think, they're much more usable. But now, moving on, what are they called again? I forget the name. I forget. It's just gone. Falconetti. Falconetti Gunners, that's the one. Sorry, names just go. Falconetti Gunners, I'm going to put in A. Falcon Age Gunners could be an S, played right, but too many, they get played a lot at far range. Basically, you want to do completely the opposite as the longbows, play them close range, and they can change a fight. They're going to get jumped a lot, but they're very good. They're very good, and A is still very good. Like, it's still really usable, and they can totally change the battle. It's just out of 10 battles, probably 5 of those battles you're going to get jumped and killed before you even get them there, because people, the kind of experienced players, will keep looking. They'll look at the list and see you there, see you spawn them out, and then just find them because they know that's 300 leadership out the dead instantly, and it's easy to kill. Flamethrowers, again, have the same problem. They can be kind of jumped quite easily, but I'm going to put flamethrowers in S because flamethrowers, as we all know, if they're used properly, will totally change a push. They'll stop everything. So with the right play, in S. I think they're better than Falconettis. I think Falconettis definitely have their uses, but I think if we're saying you've got to play Falconettis close, I would prefer to be playing Flamethrowers close than Falconettis. The Houndsman, I'm going to pop in B. I think Houndsmen are good, but actually, no, I'm going to put Houndsman because of the Cav actually running around at the moment. I'm going to put Houndsman in A because their dogs can do quite a number on slowing the Cav down. The only issue is their range is kind of small, but they do a lot of damage. They can be useful. I think they're still a little bit expensive on leadership. I think these should be sort of the same as the Tercios. They should be 290. I think they're still too expensive. And then finally, Shenjis. Shenjis, I'm going to pop in. I'm going to pop at the top of A tier. I think Shenjis have really... actually, you know what? No, I'm going to pop them in S. Shenjis, if they're played properly, have super high value, but you need to look at them like a grenade unit, not a gun unit. I'd advise taking them down the grenade veterancy line instead of the gun, and then use them. Because of their arc of their grenade, you can get in so many situations where you can suddenly pick up like 30 kills just because you're in the right spot, and you can lob your grenades directly down. And if there's a range unit, like with a lot of these range units on some maps, if you're attacking, climb a ladder with your Shenjis and just drop it over the top, and you'll pick up, like, you could probably get 100 kills in one grenade throw because there'll be so many people with these guns out. So I think played properly and played like a grenade unit, and with the team play, Shenjis can, again, change the battle. So that looks like it's my list. Don't forget, the matchlocks are in B. They're right here. So just use your visual mind. The matchlocks are in B, right there. So yeah, that's the list. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that's not triggered anybody too much. But range has got some strong units at the moment. Although I don't want to encourage range. I think, maybe one in your warband or none. If you want to win, it's probably good not to all have range. So kind of work that out. But this is the list. This is where I'm quite happy with this. I think I think everything's in its proper place. But we will see in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed this sort of content, I'd really appreciate the sub. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.